Question number 1. What is the minimum age at which you can get a Class C driver license without either driver education or being a hardship case? CHPT.1. Answer on page 28. Age 25 is the minimum age at which you can apply for a driver's license without formal driver's education. Question number 2. How much is the maximum fine for a first conviction of driving without a license? CHPT.1. Answer on page 9, table 7. $200. Question number 3. What type of restrictions may be placed on your license? CHPT.1. Answer on page 9, table 8. Equals must wear corrective lenses. B equals must have a licensed operator in front seat age 21 or older. F equals must hold valid learner's license until date, usually 6 months form issued. Code. Description. Code. Description. A. With corrective lenses. P1. For Class M TRC 454.424 until MM/DD/YY. B. Licensed operator front seat 21 or over. P2. To from work/school. C. Daytime only. P3. To from work. D. Not to exceed 45 miles per hour. P4. To from school. E. No manual transmission equipped CMV. P5. To from work/school or LOFS 21 or over. F. Must hold valid learner license to MM/DD/YY. P6. To from work or LOFS 21 or over. G. TRC 545.424 applies until MM/DD/YY. P7. To from school or LOFS 21 or over. USH. Vehicle not to exceed 26,000 pounds. GVWR. P8. With telescopic lens. I. Motorcycle not to exceed 250 cubic centimeters. P9. LOFS 21 or over bus only. G. Licensed motorcycle operator 21 or over in sight. P10. LOFS 21 or over school bus only. K. CDL/CLP interstate commerce only. P11. Bus not to exceed 26,000 pounds. GVWR. L. No air brake equipped CMV. P12. Passenger CMV restrict to Class C only. M. No Class A passenger vehicle. P13. LOFS 21 or over in vehicle equipped air brake. N. No Class A or B passenger vehicle. P14. Foration Class B exempt vehicle authorized. O. No tractor trailer CMV. P15. Foration Class A exempt vehicle authorized. Code. Description. Code. Description. Q. LOFS 21 or over vehicle above Class B. P16. CMV school buses interstate. R. LOFS 21 or over vehicle above Class C. P17. CMV government vehicle interstate. S. Outside rearview mirror or hearing aid. P18. If CMV, only transport personal property interstate. T. Automatic transmission. P19. If CMV, only transport core/6/injured interstate. U. Applicable prosthetic devices. P20. The CMV privately transport passengers. Interstate. V. Medical variance documentation required. P21. If CMV, fine, interstate. Power steering. P22. FCMV, intracity zone drivers, interstate. No cargo in CMV tank vehicle. P23. If CMV, custom harvesting, interstate. Y. Valid Texas vision or limb waiver required. P24. If CMV, transporting bees/hives, interstate. Z. No full air brake equipped. P25. If CMV, use an oil/water well services. Question number 4. In what direction should you turn your wheels when parking uphill without a curb? CHPD.7. Answer on page 47. Turn wheels to the right. Turn wheels to the right, no curb. Question number 5. What action should you take if you fail to receive the renewal notice card reminding you that your driver license is about to expire? CHPT.1. Answer on page 10. It is your responsibility to renew your license regardless if a renewal notice is sent or not. Question number 6. On a one-way street, what color is the broken lane marker? CHPT.5. Answer on page 36. Color of a one-way street lane marking is white. 7. Describe the yield sign. CHPT.5. Answer on page 34. Red and white upside-down triangle with the words yield in the middle. Question number 8. What does a narrow bridge sign look like, and how should the driver react when he sees one? CHPT.5. The bridge ahead is not as wide as the road. Slow down and use caution. Answer on page 31. It's a yellow diamond-shaped sign, and one should slow down and proceed with caution. Question number 9. What is the shape of a keep right sign, and how should the driver react when he sees one? CHPT. 5. Answer on page 30 and 33. You should drive in the right-hand lane and expect oncoming traffic in the left-hand lane. Stay in the right-hand lane if you are driving slower than other vehicles on the road. Question number 10. Which sign tells you to slow down because you are approaching a double curve? CHPT.5. Answer on page 30. Answer on page 30. The road curves one way right and then the other way left. Slow down, keep right, and do not pass. Question number 11. What does a do not pass sign mean? CHPT.5. Answer on page 33. Do not pass other vehicles. Question number 12. Which sign tells you to keep in the right-hand lane when driving slow? CHPT.5. Answer on page 33. Stay in the right-hand lane if you are driving slower than other vehicles on the road. Question number 13. What does yield right-of-way mean? CHPT.5. This sign tells you the road you are on joins with another road ahead. You should slow down or stop if necessary so you can yield the right-of-way to vehicles, pedestrians, or bicycles on the other road. Answer on page 23 and 34. Yield right-of-way means you must slow down or stop if necessary and give way to other drivers already occupying a space or road. Question number 14. Describe the equipment required on passenger cars by state law. CHPT.2. Answer on page 18, table 13. brakes, lights, horns, muffler, exhaust system, safety glass, license plate, windshield wiper, rear view mirror, safety belts, tires, fuel cap. Item. Description. Brakes. Foot brake. Must stop car within a distance of 25 feet at a speed of 20 miles per hour. Parking brake should be adequate to stop in R. D hold CA. Lights. 2 headlights, one on each side of the front, a beam indicator showing when the high beam is on. Tail lights. All vehicles must be equipped with 2 tail lights. Exceptions. Cars manufactured before 1960 are only required to have 1 tail light. Brake lights. All vehicles must have 2 working brake lights. Exceptions. Cars manufactured before 1960 are only required to have 1 brake light. Vehicles equipped with a third or high-mounted stop lamp require all 3 to be operational. License plate light, a white light that lights the rear license plate when the headlights or auxiliary lamps are lighted. Parking lights, white or amber on the front, red to the rear, may be combined with other lights. Reflectors, 2 red reflectors, one on each side of the car, may be combined with tail lights, must be visible from distances of 100 to 600 feet on vehicles 80 inches wide or more, and 100 to 350 feet on vehicles manufactured before 1960. Turn signals. Every motor vehicle, trailer, semi-trailer, and pole trailer must have electric turn signals, except motorcycles and certain trailers. Exceptions. Passenger cars and trucks less than 80 inches in width and manufactured before 1960 are not required to have electrical turn signals. Distance of 200 feet. Item. Description. Muffler and exhaust system. All 1968 or later models must be equipped with an exhaust emission system to help reduce air pollution. Safety glass. New cars must be equipped with safety glass. Replacements of glass for any car must be with safety glass. License plates. Vehicles must have 1 valid plate affixed to the front and 1 at the rear of passenger and commercial vehicles, in the manner prescribed by law, except dealer and commercial vehicles that are only issued 1 license plate. Windshield wiper. Windshield wipers are necessary for safety in bad weather. Rear view mirror. A rear view mirror must be able to reflect a view of the highway for a distance of at least 200 feet to the rear of the vehicle. Slow-moving vehicle emblem. Farm tractors and machinery, road construction machinery, animal-drawn vehicles, and certain other motor vehicles assigned to travel at 25 miles per hour or less must display the slow-moving front seat belts. Front seat belts are required if safety belt anchorages were part of the original equipment of the vehicle. Tires. All vehicles are required to have tires in proper and safe condition with a minimum depth of 2/32 of an inch. Fuel cap. The fuel cap on gasoline-powered vehicles from 2 to 24 years old will be checked to determine if the fuel cap is missing or defective. Exceptions. Antique vehicles, circus vehicles, slow-moving vehicles, motorcycles, and vehicles operated exclusively by a fuel other than gasoline, and vehicles newer than 2 years or older than 24 years. Question number 15. What is the purpose of an exhaust emission system? CHPT.2. Answer on page 18. To reduce pollution. Question number 16. Describe the types of equipment that Texas state law specifically forbids on passenger cars driven within the state. CHPT.2. Answer on page 19. Equipment you must not have. The following equipment is considered unsafe and is not allowed on your vehicle. A red light showing from the front except on an emergency vehicle. A bell, siren, or exhaust whistle except on an emergency vehicle. A muffler cutout. Anything extending more than 3 inches beyond the left side or 6 inches beyond the right side of the body, running board, or fenders of your car. Flashing red lights on the front except on emergency vehicles, school buses, and church buses. A radar interference device designed, manufactured, used, or intended to be used to interfere with, scramble, disrupt, or cause to malfunction a radar or laser devices used to measure a vehicle's speed. Question number 17. How should you react when a traffic officer tells you to do something that is ordinarily considered to be against the law? CHPT.5. Answer on page 28. Always follow the directions of a traffic officer. 18. Once the brakes have been applied, about how many feet does a car which was going 70 miles per hour travel before it comes to a stop? CHPT.8. Answer on page 48. 233 feet. Going 70. 387 feet to stop. Question number 19. When is it necessary to stop before proceeding when you overtake a school bus loading or unloading children? CHPT.4. Answer on page 26. When red lights are flashing and stop sign is showing. Question number 20. About how many feet will the average driver going 50 miles per hour travel from the moment he sees danger until he hits the brakes? CHPT.8. Answer on page 48. 110 feet. Going 50. 229 feet to stop. Question number 21. Within how many feet of a crosswalk may you park when parking near a corner? CHPT.7. Answer on page 45. Within 20 feet of a crosswalk at an intersection. Question number 22. What is the state speed limit for automobiles in urban districts? CHPT.8. Answer on page 49, table 24. 30 miles per hour, miles per hour. Question number 23. Does a posted speed limit of 55 miles per hour mean that you may drive 55 miles per hour on that highway under all conditions? CHPT.8. Answer on page 48. Speed limit sign is for normal driving conditions. However, under adverse conditions, rain, heavy traffic, limited visibility, and reduced traction, you must go slower than the posted speed limit. Question number 24. You should never drive on the left half of the roadway when you are within how many feet from an intersection, bridge, or railroad crossing? CHPT.6. Answer on page 41. 100 feet. Question number 25. What should you do if you discover you are in the wrong lane to make a turn as you enter an intersection? CHPT.6. Answer on page 42. Continue straight and find a safe turnaround further up the road or detour. Question number 26. When two cars meet at the intersection of a 2-lane road with a 4-lane road, which one must yield the right-of-way? CHPT.4. Answer on page 23. 2-lane road must yield to a 4-lane road. Question number 27. If you are driving and hear a siren coming, what should you do? CHPT.4. Answer on page 25. Simply yield depending where the emergency vehicles is coming from. For example, if it is behind you, pull over to the right of the shoulder to let it pass. Question number 28. What is the first thing that should be done when a car starts to skid? CHPT. Answer on page 52. Do not hit the brakes suddenly or hard. Take foot off the gas. Question number 29. At what time of the day should your headlights be turned on? CHPT. Answer on page 50. You must use your headlights beginning 30 minutes after sunset and ending 30 minutes before sunrise, or any time when individuals or vehicles cannot be seen clearly for at least 1,000 feet. Question number 30. Under what conditions may your driver license be suspended? CHPT.1. Answer on page 12. A license can be suspended for a number of different violations, from continued reckless driving point system to mandatory suspension for violations considered a felony or dangerous. For example, DWI, drug offenses, racing on public highways, or overtaking a school bus. Question number 31. What is carbon monoxide and how may it be harmful to drivers? CHPT.14. Found on page 71. Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas. When exposed to carbon monoxide, make sure to find fresh air and ventilation. Symptoms include dizziness and sleepiness. Overexposure leads to death. Question number 32. Describe what you should do if you have a blowout while driving. CHPT. Answer found on page 52. Do not hit the brakes suddenly or hard. Take foot off gas and brake gently. Steer straight ahead to stop. Question number 33. What should you do when driving down a steep grade in a car with standard transmission? CHPT. Answer on page 52. When driving down a steep hill, you can shift your car into a low gear to help slow your vehicle. Never coast in neutral, or for cars with a standard transmission, never coast with your foot on the clutch. Question number 34. What should you do if you damage an unattended vehicle? CHPT.11. Answer on page 63. 1. Locate the operator or owner of the unattended vehicle and give your name and address. 2. Securely attach a written notice in a visible way to the unattended vehicle providing your name and address, a statement of the circumstances of the collision. Question number 35. When are crash reports required? CHPT.11. Answer on page 62. If you are involved in a crash that is not investigated by a law enforcement officer and the crash has not resulted in injury or death of a person or damage to property of $1,000 or more, you must make a written report of the crash and file it with the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, no later than the 10th day after the date of the crash. The written report must be on a TxDOT specified form. Question number 36. If you are required to show proof of financial responsibility for the future, how many years must such proof be kept up? CHP.3. Answer on page 22. 2 years. Question number 37. What type of sign warns you to watch right and left for cross traffic? CHPT.5. Answer on page 30 and 31. You are approaching a T intersection and must turn left or right. Be prepared to yield the right-of-way at the intersection if necessary. Cross road ahead, slow down and watch for cross traffic. Look carefully in all directions for traffic. Questions number 38. Describe the emblem that identifies vehicles which travel at speeds of 25 miles per hour or less. CHPT.5. Answer on page 40. Orange triangle. Question number 39. In which gear should you drive when going down a steep hill? CHPT. Answer on page 52. When driving down a steep hill, you can shift your car into a low gear to help slow your vehicle. Never coast in neutral, or for cars with a standard transmission, never coast with your foot on the clutch. Question number 40. What qualifications must one have to teach a beginner to drive? CHPT.1. Answer on page 1. The licensed driver must be at least 21 years of age with at least 1 year of driving experience, must occupy the seat beside the driver, and cannot be intoxicated, asleep, or engaging in any activity that prevents observation and response to the actions of the driver. Question number 41. If a person is under 18, when does his provisional license expire? CHPT.1. Answer on page 3. A provisional license holder's license will expire on their 18th birthday. Question number 42. When parked parallel, your curb side wheels must be no more than how many inches from the curb? CHPT.7. Answer on page 47. Do not park more than 18 inches from the curb or edge of the road. Question number 43. When following another car, what is a good distance at which you should follow behind? CHPT.8. Answer on page 48. You should keep a safe distance between your car and the one in front of you. The faster you drive, the greater the distance you should keep from the car ahead of you. For speeds 30 miles per hour or less, the minimum time between your car and the one in front of you is 2 seconds with good road conditions. For speeds above 30 miles per hour, maintain a 4-second gap between cars during good road conditions. During rain, fog, or snow, you should allow more time. Using a 4-second following interval is recommended for a new or less experienced driver. Question number 44. To what agency and within what time period must a change of address be reported for driver licensing purposes? CHPT.1. Answer on page 10. A change of name or address must be reported to DPS within 30 days. A license expiring in less than 12 months or in less than 30 days for a provisional license should be renewed, not duplicated. Question number 45. What effects does the use of marijuana and amphetamine have on driving? CHPT.10. Answer on page 58. Marijuana can affect concentration, judgment, and sensory and perceptual skills. Amphetamine makes a driver less coordinated, edgy, and is more likely to be involved in a car crash. 46. What is the penalty for being convicted of driving while intoxicated? CHPT.10. Answer on page 61, table 33. Offense: fine, confinement, driver license suspension. First offense: to $2,000, 72 hours to 180 days in jail, 90 days to 365 days. Second offense: to $4,000, 30 days to 1 year in jail, 180 days to 2 years. Third and subsequent offenses: to $10,000, to $10,000 up, 180 days to 2 years. DWI with passenger under 15, to $10,000, 180 days to 2 years in state jail, 90 days to 2 years. Intoxication assault: to $10,000, to $10,000, 90 days to 2 years. Intoxication manslaughter: to $10,000, 2 to 20 years in TDCJ, 180 days to 2 years. Question number 47. What does a green arrow showing with a red light mean? CHPT.5. Answer on page 28. A green arrow displayed at the same time as a red light means the driver can proceed carefully in the direction of the arrow after yielding the right-of-way to other vehicles and pedestrians. Question number 48. How should you react to a flashing red light? CHPT.5. Answer on page 28. Stop completely before entering the crosswalk or intersection, then proceed when you can do so safely. Vehicles on the intersecting road may not have to stop. Question number 49. Which sign tells you to watch out for a train? CHPT.5. Answer on page 35. Question number 50. Describe the sign that warns you to slow down for a winding road. CHPT.5. There is a winding road ahead. Drive slowly and carefully and do not pass. Question number 51. What sign indicates that the road that you are on merges with another? CHPT.5. Answer on page 31. You are approaching a point where other traffic lanes come together with the one you are in. Watch for traffic from that direction. Question number 52. What kind of sign warns you that the highest safe speed for the curve ahead is 35 miles per hour? CHPT.5. Answer on page 33. Advisory speed sign. This sign gives the highest speed which you can safely travel around the curve ahead. Question number 53. Describe the sign that tells you to watch for cross traffic ahead. CHPT.5. Answer on page 30. Cross road ahead. Slow down and watch for cross traffic. Look carefully in all directions for traffic. Of sign warns you that you should slow down for a sharp rise in the roadway. CHPT.5. Answer is on page 32. There is a sudden high place in the road ahead. Slow down in order to avoid losing control of your vehicle or an accident. Question number 55. Describe the type of sign that would let you know that you were on a short state highway in a city or urban area. CHPT.5. Answer on page 35. Texas route marker signs tell you what road you are or will be traveling on. Plan your trip and know which road you want to take. Question number 56. What is the maximum number of inches you may lawfully allow an object to extend beyond the left fender of your car? CHPT.2. Answer on page 19. No more than 3 inches beyond the left side of the body, running board, or fenders of your car. Question number 57. Under what conditions must you always stop? CHPT.5. Answer on page 28. Red light, flashing red light, stop sign. Officer instructs you to stop when yielding to oncoming traffic on a left turn. Any and all pedestrians on a crosswalk or road. Question number 58. What should you do when coming onto a street from a private alley or driveway? CHPT.4. Answer on page 23. When entering or crossing a road, street, or highway from a private road, alley, building, or driveway, you must stop prior to the sidewalk and yield the right-of-way to all approaching vehicles and pedestrians. Question number 59. If a child runs into the road 45 to 50 feet ahead of your car, what is the highest speed from which you can stop with good brakes without hitting him? CHPT.8. Answer on page 48. 30 miles per hour has a braking distance of 43 feet. Question number 60. How close to a fire plug may a vehicle lawfully park? CHPT.7. Answer on page 45. No closer than 15 feet. Question number 61. What does a posted speed limit of 55 miles per hour mean? CHPT.5. Answer on page 33. This sign tells you the maximum speed in mph you are permitted to travel. Sign also indicates the maximum speeds permitted on the road for daytime and nighttime. Question number 62. What is the maximum speed limit for passenger cars on a Texas highway numbered by this state or United States outside an urban district? CHPT.8. Question number 63. Under what circumstances should you never attempt to pass a car ahead of you? CHPT. 6. Answer on page 41. Pavement markings or signs prohibit driving on the left, and no passing zone or solid lane lines. There are 2 or more traffic lanes in each direction. Within 100 feet of or crossing an intersection or railroad crossing. On a hill, curve, or any other place where vision is limited. Within 100 feet of a bridge, viaduct, or tunnel. 64. Under what conditions are overtaking and passing to the right not permitted? CHPD.6. Answer on page 42. When there are parked cars on road, when there is no paved shoulder, when driving on a multi-lane road and there is no blocked traffic. Question number 65. When a driver is waiting to make a left turn, what is the procedure he should take when the light turns green? CHPT.5. Answer on page 28. You can turn left on a green light. However, you must yield the right-of-way to all traffic that is approaching from the opposite direction before turning. Question number 66. What precautions should a driver take at uncontrolled intersections? CHPT.4. Answer on page 23. When approaching this type of intersection, yield the right-of-way to any vehicle that has entered or is approaching the intersection on your right. If the road to your right is clear or approaching vehicles are far enough from the intersection to make your crossing safe, you may proceed. Since there are not any traffic controls at this intersection, make sure there are no approaching vehicles from the left. You may legally have the right-of-way, but be sure the other driver yields to you before you proceed. Question number 67. What regulations should a bicycle rider observe? CHPT.13. Answer on page 65. Any person who operates a bicycle is subject to the same penalties for violating a traffic law as a person operating a motor vehicle. All traffic convictions will be placed on the individual's driver record, regardless if the conviction was the result of operating a bicycle or driving a motor vehicle. Question number 68. Under what conditions should headlights be used? CHPT. Answer is on page 50. Driving in fog, heavy rain, sleet, snow, or dust. At night or in a tunnel. Anytime visibility is reduced. Question number 69. You should dim your lights when you are within how many feet of an approaching car? CHPT. Answer on page 50. Within 500 feet of an approaching car. Question number 70. What type of lighting should cars use when parked on the highway at night? CHPT. Answer on page 50. If you must park on an unlighted highway at night, leave your parking lights or low-beam headlights on. Question number 71. Which lights should you use when you are driving in a fog? CHPT. Answer on page 50. Low-beam headlights. Question number 72. When are you required to show proof of financial responsibility? CHP.3. Answer on page 21. Every owner or operator of a motor vehicle in Texas is required to furnish evidence of financial responsibility to a law enforcement officer upon request or to another person involved in a crash. Question number 73. When needed, how may one show proof of financial responsibility? CHP.3. Answer on page 21. A physical standard insurance policy issued by an insurance company. An image displayed on a wireless communication device that includes the information required in a standard insurance form. Not acceptable for license issuance or examination. Question number 74. What sign warns you that you must slow down? CHPT.5. Answer on page 30. Many of the diamond-shaped signs require you to slow down for safety. For example, speed advisory sign, you must slow down to recommended speed limit, and wet road sign, you must slow down below speed limit to navigate safely. Question number 75. What circumstances may lead to possible loss of your license? CHPT.1. Answer on page 12. A number of circumstances could lead to a possible lose of your license, including anything deemed a felony under motor vehicle laws, as well getting 6 points on your driving record within a 3-year period. Diagnosed medical conditions can also result in a loss of your license, especially when your vision is affected to the point you can't pass the eye exam. Question number 76. In addition to mufflers, what new equipment is required on all cars manufactured in 1968 and after? CHPT.2. Answer on page 18. All 1968 or later models must be equipped with an exhaust emission system to help reduce air pollution. Question number 77. Why are seat belts important? CHPT.14. Answer on page 67. Safety belts help keep you from being thrown from your car. Your chances of being killed are 5 times greater if you are thrown from your car. From hitting the dashboard too hard. Whatever your reason for not wearing safety belts, it is dangerous and violates state law. Question number 78. What is meant by defensive driving? CHPT.14. Answer on page 67. Stay alert and keep eyes moving to keep track of what is happening at all time. Look for trouble spots developing all around. Have a plan of action. Know that the law requires drivers to protect each other from their own mistakes. Question number 79. What are the different classes of licenses and age requirements for each? CHPT.1. Answer on page 4. Class A equals 18 years old. Class B equals 18 years old. Class C equals 15 hardship, 16 provisional, 18 standard. Class M equals 15 moped, 16 motorcycle. Question number 80. When is a bicyclist not required to ride to the right of the roadway? CHPT.13. Answer on page 8. A person operating a bicycle who is moving slower than the other traffic on the road shall ride as near as possible to the right curb or edge of the road unless A. The person is overtaking and passing another vehicle proceeding in the same direction. B. The person is preparing for a left turn at an intersection or onto a private road or driveway. C. There are unsafe conditions in the road such as fixed or moving objects, parked or moving vehicles, pedestrians, animals, potholes, or debris, or D. The person is operating a bicycle in an outside lane that is less than 14 feet in width and doesn't have a designated bicycle lane adjacent to that lane, or the lane is too narrow for a bicycle and a motor vehicle to travel safely side by side. Question number 81. When are bicyclists allowed to ride 2 abreast in a traffic lane? CHPT.13. Answer on page 65. Individuals riding 2 abreast on a lined road must ride in a single lane and not impede the flow of traffic. Question number 82. What are the 3 most common motorist-caused car-bicycle crashes? CHPT. Answer on page 56. The most common car-bicycle crashes caused by a motorist are: a motorist turns left in front of oncoming bicycle traffic. Oncoming bicycle traffic is often overlooked or its speed misjudged. A motorist turns right across the path of the bicycle. The motorist should slow down and merge with the bicycle traffic for a safe right turn. A motorist pulls away from a stop sign and fails to yield to the bicycle. At stop signs and intersections, the right-of-way rules apply equally to motor vehicles and bicycles. Question number 83. What are the penalties for minors, persons under the age of 21, convicted of driving under the influence of alcohol? CHPT. 10. Answer on page 60, table 31. 84. What are the penalties for minors, persons under the age of 21, convicted of non-driving alcohol-related offenses? CHPT.10. Answer on page 59, table 28. Offense. Penalty. First offense. Class C misdemeanor punishable by a fine of up to $500, 8 to 12 hours of community service, mandatory attendance of an alcohol awareness course, and license will be suspended or privilege denied if not licensed for 30 days. If under 18, parent may be required to also attend the alcohol awareness course.